Hi, welcome to A Journey with the Shaman. Today is February 4th, 2023, and I'm live. Don't know who is listening with me today, but we'll take it from there. Um, so just go ahead and message me if you're ready. It's a live chat, so we're all set to go. I did want to talk a little bit today about an experience that I had in the past about how the 3D kind of kept people who could excel from excelling. And I'm going by my own personal experience. Stop. Okay. Can you hear me? Anybody out there first can hear me? Anyways, uh, in the job I was in, there was about 35 of us on the sales floor. It was a call center, and we were calling dental offices. And one of the, what the criteria, that they had, they changed because they were getting too many people who couldn't sell, but they could dial. Oh, there we go. Missed the button. And they could, they could dial the phone, but their selling skills were kind of weak. And so, um, so their selling skills kind of work. So they changed the criteria to make them stronger. But they took the, uh, hey, chosen, welcome, woohoo, and so they changed their criteria so that the people who couldn't sell could still award the bonuses, which is really kind of stupid. I mean, here we have I have an agent. Here's just one agent that here's a floor. 35 people on the floor. You've got one agent, actually maybe a couple of them, but there's one that could actually outsell the floor by himself. But let's change the criteria because those who couldn't sell were complaining because he was getting all the awards. So what they did is instead of making the criteria by the number of sales, the volume of sales, and the overall quality of the sale, they took it to a number of calls, a number of dials that you made, and sales were a bonus. It wasn't a necessity. So here is one individual who could do like $3,500 in sales, which is more than the entire floor can do on its own. So let's change the criteria so that everybody on the floor gets more dials. So what they took it from, we're going to reward you for 80 dials a day and minimum of 45 contacts. That's the criteria. Sales was okay, where they're averaging like 50 to $150 a person per day in sales. I was averaging $3,500 a day in sales, but I was only doing 40 dials. So they penalized me for that because I could outperform the team and I wasn't a team player. That's the low energy that we are leaving behind. To me, that just didn't make sense. Um, and if anybody has a question, feel free to say whatever you want to say. I'm enjoying this so far. And well, let me continue with my little journey. So they changed the criteria. And so I started looking at it and I put together a whole thing. It's, how can you justify that? Well, we charge the client by the number of calls we make. So we're making it look good for the client, what they're paying us for. So they're making it look good for themselves, the company I work for. They were fudging the numbers so they can get more dials out because the contract was paying by the dials, not by the quality of sales. And I've been in sales for 30 some years, and that absolutely did not make sense. And a lot of what we're dealing with today, I think, or we're leaving behind it, is the things that just don't make any sense. You know, a word like the way I've described it, but also regulations to keep businesses from opening, keeping putting regulations on farmers so they can't produce food. keeping, putting requirements and whatever else and all these loopholes that you just don't need because somebody else wants to get their finger in that pie. And it's deliberately keeping us at a low energy level, deliberately keeping us at a level that doesn't produce, doesn't progress. I mean, in America, we haven't really had any technical progression since maybe the 60s, 70s, the latest. I mean, really, there hasn't been much significant changes since then. I mean, there's some things that they've tweaked a little bit, but overall, I mean, we shouldn't have depend on fuel like oil like we do. That's still there. Green energy technology isn't like they said it was. I mean, there's more stuff that we can do that they've kept from us, and they keep us at a lower energy, to keep us from performing at our maximum potential. I don't know about you guys, but I've kind of had enough of that. Who blocked you? I'm not blocking you. Hmm. Trying to read what's going on here. Somebody's having some kind of issues. They blocked me. Hello. Alien Guru is typing, but nothing's coming through. What that is? It says, the shaman's journey. But Chosen, you're coming through fine. I'm seeing your messages. But uh, so be prepared that we're going to be moving into a area where expertise is not dependent upon the lowest quality denominator. Um, hmm. Okay. Well, Guru, it looks like Alien Guru got blocked somehow from YouTube. I'm not sure how to fix that, but I'll keep going with my message. Um, and if anybody else wants to let people know that I'm talking live, we can do that too. Thanks, Chosen. I know you're wonderful. Um, anyways, so I think we'll just prepare ourselves that we're moving into a realm where, you know, you can be whatever you want to be. You can do what you want. I mean, we're moving out of an era where everybody is controlled by somebody else, a regulation, a government official, or an institution. I mean, we're all responsible. We always report to somebody. Uh, and that era is leaving us. That's the age of Pisces, where it was a linear or a horizontal control. Somebody was always on top of somebody, on top of somebody, on top of somebody. And none of us were free to be what we wanted to be. Um, I don't know why his block chosen. I think it's a YouTube issue. I didn't block him. So, and he's talking to me internally here. But, anyways, so we're moving into an era where we're more vertical, where we don't have the superiority over us. We don't have the supervisory, the management, the regulations. That's going to go away. It's we're going to be free to do what we want to be. That's why this has started, because I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. Because I was told I can't do it. No real justification why I can't. It's just, well, we don't do it that way. I'm not going to answer. You know, um, so, one of the things that when I was in church, working in the church and stuff, and I wanted to make some changes, and the biggest thing that they've done in the church is, well, we don't do it that way. Why? Well, we've never done it that way before. Why? We just don't do it that way. Sorry, that doesn't make sense. Just because you've done it this way or you haven't done it a certain way, does that make it wrong? There's a little story I like to tell. Yeah, it's a story. It's about traditions. And in this little story, a young girl is watching her mom make bake a ham in the oven. And as she's watching the mother, she's preparing everything else, and she's got the nice ham, and she cuts off the ends of the ham. And the little girl asks her, says, "Well, mommy, how come um, you cut off the ends of the ham?" And the mother replied, "Well, that's the way Grandma always did it. You should go ask Grandma. Maybe she could tell you why." So the little girl says, "Grandma, Mom was telling me she cuts off the ends of the ham, and I asked her why, and she said, well, that was the way you always did it. So how come you always did that?" "Oh, honey, I don't know. Really, that was the way your great grandma always did it. Why don't you go ask her?" So the little girl went up to her great grandma, and she goes, "Grandma, I was asking Mom, she's making that ham, and I was asking how come she cuts off the ends of the ham before she puts it in the oven. She told me to ask, Grandma, so I did that. Well, Grandma told me to ask you. So, great grandma, how come you cut off the ends of the ham?" Well, she goes, "Honey, I don't know why they did it. I did it because that's how it used to fit in the oven." So we have traditions that we kind of lose focus on what they're about. And religions are full of traditions. And a lot of them, I think, kind of got forgotten as to why they're there, or they kind of got fudged. Um, Traditions are a great way of keeping track of our history, keeping track of our lives, keeping track of um, what's going on. It can help. The traditions can keep certain things alive. Oral tradition is how stories get told. A lot of the stories I tell are from oral traditions. Some of them I remember from a very long time ago, like the one I just told you. That story I've learned a long. I heard that story. First time I heard that story, God, I don't know, over 20, 30 years ago. Um, but and that's what a lot of things are. They're oral traditions, and things have been changed. They've been um, neglected, or whatever you want to call it. The focus, though, is to really come back to being who we are, and not you know, who they've said we should be. Um, hmm. So, Chosen, are you still there? Do you have anything to add today? And I'm kind of putting you on the spot. And I don't know why Alien Guru is blocked, but it's okay. He's got me set up. He's got me running. Uh, if you're listening, Alien Guru, I appreciate everything you've done with me so far, and I know hopefully I can get through this with very little input. Um, so, anything you want to ask today, Chosen, as long as I'm talking to you, as long as you're the only one here with me, let's see, what else can I tell you? That story about traditions, I like that one. Um, my relationship with God is pretty good too. I do a lot of I've done lots of praying with Him over the years. A lot of stuff that I've asked for is starting to come to light today, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if it really matters. Um, Actually, what I could do, close by, um, running around here. Yes. But it's just Chosen so far. But if you could invite anybody else, Chosen, that'd be wonderful. As long as I'm on, and I can keep trying this. This is going to be a good thing. What do you do with my book? Oh, right there. This is one of my prayer books. Um, Actually, there's one I did when they do pray to Mary a lot in here too. Um, like this one here is the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Pray for me, a sinner, now that I'm at the hour of my death. My Lord, I want to start over. I want to begin a new and closer relationship with you. I want to clean all my sins from my sinfulness and sinful ways of my life. I want to be reborn with the knowledge of my sinfulness, but without the shame of my sins, past, present, or future. My Lord, my God, Amen. Um, I did a lot of submission, a lot of submissive prayers, humility and joy. Dear Lord, to be humble and full of joy is the only possible because of your grace, and with the life, death, and resurrection of your Son is my salvation. Dear and loving Father, please accept my confession of my sinful life in the place you love, in place you, in its place you put love and wisdom to help others for their salvation of their souls. My Lord, my God, only with your grace am I able to serve you. Um, you know, in our culture, we don't have a lot of submissiveness. People look down upon it, you know. Um, I've told people, you know, things, well, you got to be stronger. You got to, be more, sterner with your people around you, and it's not easy for me to be like that. Because I've always, my entire life, I've tried to be submissive to God's will, what He wants, willing to sacrifice everything. And recently, with a friend, they told me that maybe sacrifice isn't the right word. It should be more of I dedicated myself completely to everything that's happening. And yeah, just playing with a new toy. See, you see a little thing up there. If I push this button, that comes up. Neat, huh? I can leave that up there too. Yeah, maybe I will. um, so because a sacrifice means you give up your life for something, and I don't know if that's the right word or if it's commitment. I mean, I commit myself to God, but I also, um, hmm, actually, I let Guru know also that he never did. I still don't know if it's a guy or a girl. Chosen. Still don't know. Uh, so we got a lot of sacrifices, and that I've given up so much for. Do I want to give up anymore? You know, should I? Well, now that I know how to do this, I think I'll close up the yet at this point because I have some things I need to do yet. I'll be making another video. Hi, Chosen. Do you see the little icon in the window? The little picture it says subscribe, etc. I can delete it and put it back. And I can move it around. Oh, it's not very loud. Is this better? Uh, is this better? Oop, I don't want to knock my camera over. Because the camera and the microphone are the same tool. There. Is this better? Can you hear me better now? Chosen? Does this work better? Yes, okay. Yeah, I'll have to just speak up a little louder so I can learn that. Um, move this back here. Here we go. Yeah, there. Um, well, now that I know how to do this, we can schedule another one tomorrow. Do a live. I want to do a recorded message, and so I'll do that. But I have some things I need to get done. So, Chosen, thank you for being here, giving me the encouragement like you always do. Awesome. You're the bestest in the westest.